Choose you this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. This is Joshua Demers Productions with Off-Grid Hybrid 3.4. As you can see, there's 2 extra batteries sitting on the floor. We've got the problems of working them in to the system because they're both at 52%, and my other batteries are always variable depending on what's going on. Plus, the batteries I've already got connected, Joshua's Junction 1 and 2, are out of balance by 1% or 2. So what are we gonna do is work these ones up. They're about ready for me to go ahead and take them off the system, and I'm gonna hook my other 2 batteries up because it'll be 3 or 4 days before I get the connections I need to hook all 4 batteries up together. I've been having problems with the EA Sun power going from 4 to 600, 800, 900 watts and back down to 400 watts, particularly when the air conditioners are running, because I had a faulty connection that had worked itself loose downhill. So to solve that, I'll show you what I did in just a moment. Now, running the air conditioners. My big air conditioner, the electronics gave up. So I've got 2 small air conditioners which actually are working out better, with the exception of running both of them at the same time to bring the temperature down quickly. Causes that inverter to overheat in about 20 minutes, and with that fan I added, it takes about 40 minutes to overheat. But it appears I need a new inverter, so I've got a 4,000 watt for a little less than $400 picked out. Now, to balance out some batteries, I have a few ideas, and we've also got the trouble of naming these things. I've got Joshua's Juice 1, 2, 3, and 4, but what I didn't do when I bought these batteries new from the store is decide which battery was which, because, I mean, they all look the same. So what I'm gonna do is, starting with these 2 new batteries, you get to watch the unboxing sort of. I'm going to take the whatever brand that was, Viva charger, hook it up to one battery, and come over here and connect to one of the other. Come on now, do something. Uh-oh, did they huh. Try one more time. Like I said, this app needs a little work. Oh, let's try click and click. That's what it is. There we go. Now, Joshua's Juice 3 is 52%, and I already checked Joshua's Juice 4. It's at 52% right now as well. But what we're going to do is hook the charger up to one of these batteries, start charging it, and see if this goes up or not, and then I'll know which battery's which, and I'll put a label on it. And then when I unhook those other batteries to swap them out, I'll do the same thing, and I'll explain why I'm about to swap them out before I hook all 4 of them up. Okay, first thing we need to do is make sure we select battery type to LifePo4 lithium phosphate, iron phosphate batteries. They should already be auto 12 volts since we've only got 1 battery connected right now. We'll hit the start button. There it goes. And we'll come back over here and take a look. And yep, 400 watts going into the battery. So we know that this one here is Joshua's Juice 3. And we can go ahead and put a label on it. And go ahead and hook them up and get them chopped off. And I'll explain why I'm going to swap these with those right now. Alright, you can forget about it, perfect spacing But that is just fine and dandy for marking those batteries very well and clear without permanently altering the batteries. And you know, high contrast to the black, which nothing else would fit on. I think that's a great idea. So now it's time to shut everything down, disconnect these batteries and connect those. And to start, I'll have to go and show you what I did to fix this problem. Was I went downhill, found that connection burned up, but I had already decided beforehand. I thought I already knew what the problem was, but just in case it wasn't the problem and it was a long cord or it was the connections too thin, I went ahead and put my solar panels right up there this morning from downhill. So it's half the distance and it's much brighter. As you can see, the trees line is much better really on both sides, up and down. All right, let's get some batteries changed out and then balance these two. Oh, before we can disconnect those and balance them, and swap them out with these, like I said, we got to disconnect the panels up on that roof over there. We've got to disconnect the panels to the PWMR by just pulling that wire, and I really need to do the same thing over to this controller. So I need to go turn that controller off, then I can disconnect the batteries. Hooking them up's the opposite. Batteries first, then go and hook all 3 solar panel sets back up. That's the hardest part, I think, about this job. All right, let's get it done. J and K, time to go outside today again. It's hot. All right, the only downside to this so far is I got to go up there to turn the breaker on and off. But yeah, look how much lower the tree line is all the way around compared to downhill. I'll go downhill and show you, but here we go. There they are. They're wandering along. So get behind. All right, let's get back over to my place and get this done. Okay, as I prepare to disconnect the batteries, first thing I need to do, shut off the inverter AC in, shut off the inverter itself, and remember, when I reconnect the inverter, it's going to make a big spark, so it's best to just tap down good and solid to try to keep the arc down. Anyway, I prefer to disconnect the wire between the batteries first, and when I put the 3 and 4 in here, they're going to go exactly where these are for the next couple of days till I got a whole bunch more of these connectors coming in the mail tomorrow or Tuesday. But these have got, you know, 17 or 18 charge cycles on them, and I'm going to go ahead and get a couple charge cycles on the other batteries and get them higher than 50%. Like these are, you know, a little over 70 now, which is a better spot to try to put both these together in later. And then when I do finish them, I'm going to have 2 sets of parallel batteries, keeping it 24 volts until I buy that near $400 4,000 watt inverter that I may be forced to upgrade this to if I want to run 2 small ACs at a time. But hopefully I got that wiring problem figured out and the panels in a much better position with a shorter run of wires, so I can get every little bit of wattage. Oh yeah, I turned the breaker off. Haha, remember? Alright, the batteries are swapped out, and I think it's going to be nice. I made sure the marks were longer than the strap, so I can see it on both sides laying strapped down. Redid that wire so that it's not being forced up against the water tank. And I got room for the other 2 batteries, and I'll have them in order. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Awesome. Now, let's go ahead and start turning on some solar panels and getting these other batteries to start charging up. Connect that, and go turn that breaker on the rooftop on. Alright, almost. Yeah, that power PWMR charge controller is kind of wonky, but yeah, about 250 out of the 350 it seems to get max, and the PWM is putting out, so now those things should be getting put some input in, eh, K and J? I guess it's time to go outside and go turn the other panels on. Hey, let's see what we got coming in anyway. Right now we got about 150 watts coming into the batteries together. All right, let's go turn those solar panels up there on. That thing seems to be stuck at 600 watts. I wonder if only half the solar panels are connected. Strange. Anyway, power up the inverter. Wait for it to build up its voltage. Then come on over here and boom, onto the mains power. Oh, well, huh. Maybe all the panels are hooked up. Maybe the sun just ain't out as bright as it looks. Alright, anyway. J and K, now it's time to figure out which of my old batteries are which. So, do the same thing we did with last time. Plug in the Inverter charger, one of the batteries, and see which one it changes on the app. Alright, let's see which one is which. Pow! Whole place just blew up, didn't it? There it goes, and this is apparently Joshua's Juice 1, which is actually a couple percentages lower. I mean, higher than the higher or lower? I can't tell anymore, but anyway, now we know which one is Joshua's Juice 1 and 2. And now I can come over here and balance these two with that charger till they're both the same exact cell voltage percentages or whatever. Alright, anyway. I think that's it for this part. Alright, so we'll back off out to device list. We'll disconnect Joshua's Juice 3 and we'll connect Joshua's Juice 2. And we'll see that this has 3.34, 3.34, 3.34, ooh, that sells 3.342. And these are, we'll charge this Joshua's Juice 2 until they match up with those cell voltages over there, so we need to change the cables over and charge that battery. Alright, now to go ahead and double check everything, start button. Trying to find the best spot for the best cooling because I've had trouble with this thing. Alright, what do we got going on? Alright. And we should have, there we go, Joshua's Juice 2 charging up to try to bring this 3.37 up to 3.39, 3.4-ish. So I'll just sit here and monitor it, shut it down, and when I'm done, set the batteries down there and wait for my wiring to come in, and then I can upgrade to 5 kilowatts continuous. But with those batteries being topped off up in the 70s, even if these get down to the 20s or 10s and I need an emergency, I can take these off, connect those other batteries, and get by for a little bit longer. Alright, good, 700 plus watts. That means that I've definitely got both sets of parallel panels hooked up. Alright, I guess now all I gotta do is sit and wait. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to do the air conditioners till I get done with these batteries here. So I just got a ways to go before it tops off. 3.4. Boy, that did it pretty quick. It's already almost balanced, huh? fact, it looks like it might be a little over. Yeah, let's go and stop it. See what happens, let it settle for just a minute. And we'll see how it settled down and if it's already done that quick. Nope. Sure enough, as soon as it settled down, it's back to where it needs to be. So I'm going to let it sit here for 10 minutes, set me a timer, and see what happens. I mean, what happens? I overcharge this one a little bit, and I got to toss a little more into that one there. This could get frustrating, huh? Good thing there's a pause button. By the way, for what it's worth, yes indeed, I am. Check this out, I've got solar panels hooked up to these charge controllers, hooked up to those batteries, hooked up to that inverter, hooked up to the breaker box, hooked up to that outlet, hooked up to that battery charger, hooked up to that battery, topping it off, or balancing these two out. What a crazy way to get power to a battery from solar panels. I wonder how I'm doing on my other battery. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Oh good, I've gained 5% and I've got about 180 extra watts on top of that thing, and the refrigerator running pretty hard. I really think setting them panels up there gonna make a big difference, and fixing that failing connection too. However, I have yet to see this thing sustain over 700 watts steady. See how it goes up and down, up and down? It's still kind of doing that thing. I was hoping it was a bad connection or a long cord, but I'm starting to worry maybe that inverter just ain't sending out some kind of sine wave incompatibility. But you hear it up and down, it's going a lot quicker than it used to. It could just be the clouds. I can't wait to see that thing sit there sustain that when I turn the AC on. Then I'll be happy, know everything hooked up right and working right. All right, that's looking pretty good. Although I might want to give Joshua's juice, the battery on the right, I should say anyway, 3.34, 3.34, 3.34. Nope, as it settled down, I'm going to call that good. That's balanced. All right. That didn't take very long at all. I think I'm going to have to... You have to connect to Wi-Fi, but I have to go into the control, and there's an option to reset the maximum state of charge, and I guess I'm just gonna have to charge these till the over voltage protection kicks on, let it run down a couple watts, and click that on each of these batteries to get these balanced together. But at least they're pretty well balanced this way. I might want to toss another 30 seconds to a minute up on there, and I'll be good. There it is in all its glory, all 4 batteries. Now I'm just waiting on the connectors, and I can hook them up. And you know, I'm thinking if I just detach that inverter from the floor and raise it up off the floor an inch or so to let air pass underneath it from the fan in front of it, maybe it won't overheat so bad. I guess I got the hiccups too. Anyway, time to give it a try. Hopefully that thing will keep on humming. Charge up my other batteries. And there we go. I've got it all balanced out as well. So those batteries are ready to connect to the other batteries as soon as I get the other batteries to match 3.41. doing the whole thing all over again, but I gotta wait for those connectors. And let's see what I got going on my Joshua Juice 3 and 4. 63% with about 700 watts going into the batteries, and maybe in an hour I'll get to turn on my air conditioner, and it's what, only 11:30? Is that the real time? Sometimes that clock. Sure enough, it's 11:33. Awesome. All right, J&K. It ain't too hot today, but we're gonna get to cool down even more once these batteries get topped off, and see if that little air conditioner right there can run at the same time as that air conditioner over there without overheating the inverter. For some reason, that air conditioner seems to use a lot less electricity than this air conditioner. This air conditioner, though, seems to get a bit colder. When they're both working, they seem to use a little more than the big air conditioner that was sitting there. So, you know, it's kind of a trade-off. The nice thing is, though, since that thing uses, I mean, I swear, 400 or 500 watts, if even. That one probably uses closer to 6, and my big unit, other unit, was using probably closer to 9. But like I said, let's see if I can stay on a net positive today with at least one or both these air conditioners. Now let's get this inverter up off the ground, set the bed down, call it a day. This time take a break. J&K, nothing left to say today. All right. You know the routine. Aha! I caught it. Look at that. That one has stopped charging. My batteries have been full for a little bit. I've been working on fixing up that AC line. And over here, while I let my inverter run and cool off, look at that, 29 volts. And it was going beep and shutting off and tripping out. And I'm thinking, holy cow. And I hear the Bluetooth speaker beeping in from the charger. And I'm like, man, is this thing like disconnecting off the battery? No, it's too much voltage. But look, that thing did what it's supposed to. It's that POWMR. And I'm telling you, I got this thing set down. Look at that, 14.0 and 14.4. Let's try seeing what happens. No, look at that, still overcharging. Still overcharging. One thing I can do is what I always do. Pull this wire. It's hard to do one-handed, and it's gonna make a little spark. There. Now, 28 volts. Still going up 29. Yeah, the thing's still putting out some ampage too. And it's set at 28.7. Huh. Well, like I said, this is becoming a manual operation every day now. If I don't just turn these things off when I get home. Now how is this thing? No, it's, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Got these things. Ooh, I think that'll work. Yeah, there we go. Wait, that thing's still spiking up 29 volts. Sorry about the fan noise, everybody. Golly gee whiz. There. Yeah, both those controllers are out of control. Outrageous. Well, maybe I'll try the PMW, try this one by itself, and try disconnecting that one next time that gives me trouble. Much better. Yeah, Like I said, I'll give the PWMR charge controller one more try with the PWM generic controller unplugged first next time I get trouble, and see, because I've had that PWMR shut off on its own at full battery once in a while too, but once in a while it gets locked in a mode, and it looked like that time it wasn't wanting to actually switch to the float mode. Anyway, while I was running both of my air conditioners, might as well show you what I'm up to since we're right here. Where'd I put that plug in at? There it is. My power went out. But this time, the charge controller was actually good temperature, even with both air conditioners on at the same time for short manual cycles, which I'll explain later. But then after, I don't know, all afternoon of that, boop, went off. This time I realized the inverter numbers are just fine. It's the power going to the box, and then I realized, well, yeah, that thing there is just, and you know, that's not even 10 gauge. I was thinking 10 gauge, nope. But since now I got all the extra wiring from my solar panels being moved, I went ahead and grabbed me a length of it, of actual 10 gauge wire. Got me a nice big connector on the end there, and run up to the box for now until I get to the hardware store and get me 2 real nice plugs to set up in there. Alright, next. Alright, I went ahead and wired in that good solid 10 gauge wire and took that other cord, since it's still good and run, and I'm going to leave that there to run the water pump and the water tank sensor line back over to the closet. So I went ahead and stretched it out over there to the water pump. And there's the new 10 gauge wire and my little mock-up connector for now until I get down to the hardware store and get something a little more appropriate. But there we go. And what do you think of my little setup to keep it up off the ground for now? It looks like it worked today. Got done what I needed to get done. Plenty of ventilation, and took 2 minutes to put together with the drill bit and some screws I had laying around. Anyway, let's get it plugged in and see what happens. Oh, I got a little. For the voltage to build up. Turn that on. Oh, you know what I need to do? Put the box panel back together first. But nothing went bippity boppity boots, so we're all good. By the way, I put that together the first time, wasted all that time. Look what I found right there, and I was like, oh crap. So I had to redo that. It took a lot longer than it was supposed to, but I did a better job second time around. Alright, next step. Alright, let's try that again. Wait for it to power up. There it goes now. When I turn this switch on, that little fan down there should come on from the AC voltage. There it goes. I heard beep from the air conditioner. In fact, I better go turn it off. I don't need it cooling nothing down right now. Alright, I can shut that fan off there too, save a little power, because it's probably getting close to the afternoon. I don't know, I put the solar panels in a new spot. Sorry about those loud fans. And oh, something to save a little power on these digital ACs. Pop that right there. Turn the power off to that. But you know what? I should have plenty of power to run that for a little while. What am I doing on batteries here? I don't know. Let's find out. See what I got coming in. And pulling almost 900 watts. But I don't have either of these charge controllers. Well, I'm just not getting very much on that, am I? Ooh, still pulling almost 700 watts south. But this thing here didn't even turn on. Look at that. See, that's what I'm talking about. I should be sitting there doing most of the supporting. So, what happened? solar panels get disconnected? Oh, I got those numbers backwards again. Look at that. Boost recovery should be 27. I think their machine just did that when I changed battery modes on accident. Boost should be 28.8. 28.6 really, because 28.8 seems to, well, I don't know, maybe 28.8 is a better number. Oh yeah, sorry about all the fan noise and everything, but it is hot. No, I'm still not getting nothing out of that. What happened? Any voltage out of the cells? Yeah, 130 volts out of the cells. So what happened to this? Why is that not? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ouch, goodness gracious. Let me shut this off. Shoot. I mean, maybe it's possible it really is only getting 50 or 60 watts. If this one's only getting 20 to 40 watts. And it's in mode 4, so it's in maximum output. Yeah, thing's only getting 2 amps. Man, maybe it just got overcast even though it looks sunny out. Don't make no sense. That might explain why I'm not getting a lot of voltage. Well, I was hoping for a good afternoon to see how well the sun did. Relatively speaking, from being downhill where the shadow starts hitting the panels. Oh well. Anyway, what I was talking about with the inverter, that thing there, if I still have overheating problems with it, with both small air conditioners running and the refrigerator at the same time, which seems to be pretty close to its limit, I've got another inverter I'm planning on installing. Yes, that's just 50 watts. I don't know. Anyway, or maybe that's the battery's not accepting it. I don't get it. That's charging at 300 watts going into the batteries. Where is this 300 watts coming from? Something's janky. I might just need a reset since I did the inverter install. Anyways, life's a bunch of bananas, J and K. So what I was saying is, I'm gonna go to 48 volts is what I'm trying to get at, so that the inverter I get will be even better. But it's gonna be almost $400 for that, and then I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do the 12 volts, either 48 to 12, or maybe get one more battery and a separate charge controller and panel setup, and then just have a dedicated 12 volt and separate 120 volt, going with no step down DC converters. I don't know. I guess that's all coming in the future. So I guess that's all I got to say today until I hook up the batteries and show you two in a couple of days before I edit this video, unless I do that beforehand because I get impatient and want to upload this today. Bye. Alright, JK, it's a couple of days and a few charge cycles later, and I have been working hard at, came home and it was a little under, then it got over, unhooked the chargers, brought it back down and stopped it, and so now these are the batteries that are hooked up. Joshua's Juice 3 and 4, and now we can go ahead and go to Joshua's Juice 1, and it should be 3.34s. Average volume at 3.335. It probably wouldn't hurt for a touch higher, but anyway. And then Joshua's Juice 2. Ooh, it's pretty warm in here too. 3.35. So it probably wouldn't hurt for me to pull a little bit more off of Joshua's Juice 3 and 4 before, no, 3.34, 3.33, 5. Yeah, I mean, like, let's turn the fans on for like another 2 to 5 minutes. And then come back and check it. Almost there. Turn them on and off every 30 or 40 seconds and letting the battery settle a little bit. And slowly but surely it is getting closer and closer. Okay, I think I noticed something about the difference in the devices. This is a narrower screen, this is a wider screen. This is only showing to the hundredths, this is showing to the thousandths. But as you can see, this is on the higher side of 335, 334. Looks like I need to run it just a few more minutes. But anyway, what I was wanting to show you though is this. Is in the device list. You can see that those are halved out because it's a shorter aspect ratio, and with the taller aspect ratio, these actually fill in properly. You might want to just pay attention to that. Alright, here we go again, except this time I'm going to try something different. These are all 333, 333s, but this hasn't quite settled. But while that's settling, let's do this. Let's actually switch over to one of the active batteries. $335. Like I said, I'll give that a moment to settle. But if that stays right about there, I mean 335, 3356, and we'll go back to one of the batteries that's not connected, which should be very close to, if not perfectly balanced. Oops. And 3335, 3335. I would say that's pretty well balanced. Let's double check. You see that 334 could be 3356, 3357s. They're settling up just a little bit. I'd say another minute or two on my fans. Yeah, they're still working their way up. They're gonna take a little while. Okay, this balances out to 3335, 3334. Yeah, it's gonna go up a little. Anyway, while that's balancing out, let's go ahead and show you this start of today's part of the episode, and that is hooking all of these 4 batteries together. Well, I went and priced wire, and it's a little out of my range to do what I want to do, but I'm going to be going to 48 volt anyway, so this 8 gauge wire, copper wire, should be plenty for that. And since I've only got 2000 watt inverter anyway, you know, I don't think this is gonna be too much. I'd like to get a thicker wire run up for the DC charging, but again, I don't think it's that big a deal. And the cables going to the inverter are pretty big. You know, I guess I could always double these up if I can find some more cabling. Anyway, so I got myself a little drawing here. Done a couple of different ways to do this. And I chose to go with all the positives on one side and all the negatives on the other, and which means that this battery on the end will have to be flipped around. The negative is going to hook up here, and the positive is going to hook up down there. I'm going to run a strap across these 2 batteries to bring this to 24 volts. Same with over here, strap across these 2 to bring it to 24 volts, and then there'll be a strap from here to here to bridge to positive, and then a strap from here to there to bridge to negative. So I went ahead and pre-made my wires. First time ever even getting access to and using heat shrink, and I think I did a pretty good job. Mind you, these are 6 gauge connectors, and I went to go find 6 gauge wire. Couldn't even find 6 gauge wire. It was either 4 gauge or the same thing I already have. I believe I might, like I said, I might take one of these connectors down with me to Lowe's next time and double check. Anyway, for now, you know, 2 identical ones for the straps and 2 identical ones for the parallel bridge are made up. Oh, there's the other one right there. And I had to make one more extension wire to go from the negative to this negative coupling, and I'll put a bolt in it and seal it up, insulate it. And that cable is aluminum. It's gonna go, because even though that's a 4 gauge versus 8 gauge, this probably got 3 times the capacity, or 50% more capacity than that, even though that's almost twice as thick, something like that. Anyway, all right, let's go see how the, ooh, it's getting hot in here. 3.36, 3.37, and those are still just a little too high, so a couple more minutes. I got to really, you know, I want to try to do this right, so I'm going down to next to no electrical draw in between checking these things out. But once these are all balanced, this will be so much easier. All right, while I wait on the battery to settle, I'll go ahead and start connecting a couple of these batteries up over here, and thank goodness that fits, and it looks like it fits just right. It's going to be a nice, good, tight connection. I'll have to come down here and tighten it up. And I gave myself just a little extra slack, so I figured I could always bend it a little bit in case I want to space the batteries out or change the way they're laid out later, then have it too tight. And the other thing I did was, before I started crimping these on, I crimped one on, then I came and I made sure that these were as flat as they could be to each other before I crimped it on, so there was no twisting, because these big thick cables can give you problems like that. Bend it into where it needs to be and come in and tighten it down. Same thing over here after I flip the battery around. And then, like I said, I'll be taking this positive and going here, although I definitely don't want to touch those together right now. And that green wire is coming out of here. And too bad, you know, these 2 connectors, $10 for those 2 connectors, $5 a piece at Lowe's. 20 pack of these with the heat shrink, $10. Took a week to get here in the mail, maybe a little less. And I love the heat shrink. Oh, another trick with the heat shrink. They come this long. They don't need to be that long, and they look kind of ugly that way. Cut them in half. That way, when I get done, I've got an extra, well, at this point, like 18 of them to use on, like, here. And if I want to take these stupid plastic ugly looking things off, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and I'm not the only one who comes up with that idea. Look at those. Aren't about half the size of the ones I got too. Same thing with this. I'm coming down with this with some bigger wire eventually, but hey, not bad for $10 investment and a bunch of wire I just had laying around from the last few places I've been and collecting. All right, and coming back over to here, look at that, 3.35, 3.35s. I'm gonna call that good. Alrighty. Now comes the hard part. Disconnecting the batteries and rearranging them. But it ain't a big deal since I'm already no ventilation and getting used to it. Alright, get to work. Alright, I hooked it up a little different. Alright, shouldn't say hooked it up different. I set the batteries in a little different because I'm like stretching out the bit of cables I've got to everything they've got, and if I want a couple extra inches on this to go that way to get some slack and run it a little straighter to the controller box, I need every little bit I can. So putting the positive over here is the best, because I already decided to make a negative extension cable to go over to here, so it made more sense to put the positive over here, and it actually lines up a little nicer. I got the series cable, which will make these 24 and 24. Got a parallel cable, and I'm going to load up here and here to evenly distribute it. And so I should have 3 connections on each side. I should have, well, 2 really, because I got the inverter, I got the charger, and I've got the output. This is the inverter and the charger and the output, and this is the parallel cable. Then over here, I got 4 connections. I got the inverter, I got the output, I got the charger, and I got the parallel connector. So we'll connect these, and then we'll connect the parallels. Or no, let's finish off with the negative ground. And by the way, not that you really missed anything, kind of worked out better, but I meant to record it, but the camera actually overheated. I had to actually shut it down for a little while and get to this point before continuing. Okay, these are both parallel, so these should both be 24s. Yeah, let's grab the voltmeter to be sure. Or I should say closer to 25, 26 really, because these batteries always work way better than the old acid batteries. So anyways, alright, so we should have 24, 26.8, that's what I was expecting. 26.8, good deal. Alright, so I'd like, of course a real wrench is a lot better idea, but you know, what is. And of course, you know, I should probably get some washers in here too. But that was another trip to the hardware store. Whatever I do, do not drop the pliers. Even though it's got a plastic handle, to still cut through it and arc. However, these batteries do have a overcurrent protection both ways, and it will shut the battery off if it's a dead short. Maybe not without a fireworks show, but at least more safely than not so. Alright, so now we should have no trouble connecting these. And these, I'm going to do the positive and end up over here at the negative. So these are going to be kind of start off with the smallest one first to use it like a small washer, and kind of work my way down to bigger ones, and then back to a small one, kind of like a finish off washer, I guess. I don't know. These big battery terminals doesn't really matter. Alright. And of course, those have got to go one of these days, but for right now, I just want everything to turn back on and work. And I spent a lot of money on those stupid things at Lowe's. They're outrageous. So oh, and I really need to tape that up too before I go too far. You have to forgive me. I'm gonna use duct tape because that's just the best I've got right now. And I haven't been able to find any electrical tape that doesn't just peel itself right back off a week later. I mean, I'm sure it exists, but I just don't know which one to buy, and I'm done wasting money trying. It is so hot. One more connection. Alright. Now. Oh yeah, I can take that out before I make it live. It's not really in too much danger of touching anything anyway, but you know, better safe than sorry. Alright, now this one here, regardless, this should cause any trouble. Nope. Nope. Now. 27 point something again. Alrighty, you're ready to hook. Mains in and out. Up. As well as, okay, the inverter negatives on this. Man, I really should run the inverter negative over to that there. Since there's enough time to burn. Shoot! Alright. Oh, what a bunch of fun. Okay. Alright, I got this moved over here. And as I'm over here rearranging this thing here goes touches that, goes pop. So this capacitor is pretty full. Then it started touching that right there and started discharging back over into that direction. Ay, ay, ay. But anyway, now we're ready for the final connection. Woohoo! Now we are connected. All 4 batteries. How about that? Joshua's juice. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they're well balanced. I don't care what the state of charge says. They're well balanced. I'll figure out how to calibrate that later. And tune this up a little bit. Alright, now, you know, that plug right there has failed me. Like I said, and I forgot to get a couple of these at the hardware store, but right now, this is working out alright. Just plugging it up into here. Anyway. Wait for the motor to build up. Kick this on, click, refrigerator comes on, good deal. I'm getting some voltage from the charge controller. I believe I can set that down and be done with that. But first we gotta go hook up the charge controllers, so solar panels up to the charge controllers after I turn the fans on to cool this place back down. J&K, thank you so much for bearing with me today. As soon as I get done, we will go ahead and turn on the air conditioners. Woo! My phone is hot, hot, hot in my hands. Okay, I just went through all of the batteries, and Joshua's Juice 2 and 3 are at 80 and 81%. Joshua's Juice 4 is on the high end at 85, and Joshua's Juice is at 1 is at 75%. That's kind of coincidental that they all seem to be in sequential order like that. Anyway, I'm going to say that in between these two, the 80 to 81 is going to be where I'm going to just call my charge state for now until I actually see an overvoltage protection come in. So let's just leave Joshua's Juice 2 as where we'll say this thing's sitting at for the charge. Alright. Oh, something else. Remember that number right there? Quadruple it. So when that's at 200, I'm actually getting 800 watts into the battery. About 360 right now at 190 in. Remember to leave the amps alone and the voltage, double it. The reason why you double the voltage or quadruple the power is because I got 4 batteries. Each battery individually is getting 190 to 200 watts right now. But because 2 sets of parallel of 2 in series is why we double the volts and not quadruple it. But because, oh no, we can double the current now too. So yeah, 30 amps sounds about right. Yep, so double the current, quadruple the power, and double the volts. Does that sound right? Huh. I don't know. Now I'm going to have to do some more math. Hey, for what it's worth, looking at my photo on my tablet, the reason why it looks funky is because I'm normally in landscape mode, and that's why all my things are that way. So let's try that again. Oh, wait. I think I forgot one last important step. Or is the refrigerator already running? Nope, refrigerator's already running. Alright, just double checking. I swear if I can get my panels up higher off that roof and get them a little cooler, I could get a lot better voltage, or a lot better wattage. We'll see. But that is going to be an adventure for another day. Alright, J and K. The fans sure do feel a lot better, but let's kick it up a notch to the air conditioner after we get a little more battery charge going on. Yeah, buddy. I think this is an absolutely most bestest perfect, most just fitting, don't even know how to describe it, ways to bring this project, or at least for now, to a utter and complete stop. I hope you enjoyed that video at least as much as I enjoy life to make it so far. You should stay tuned. I have so much more in store. I've got another charge controller already installed and set up. I've moved some more panels around and set them up in the sky. And of course, more panels have already come and more will be on their way. Eventually going to 48 volts. See you next time.